a condom? We're in Fayetteville. No one gets STDs here.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
All right, make sure to push the buttons. Hey, everybody. Thanks for coming to the Smoke Pit. It's Friday. That's not Friday. Fuck, I already messed up. I'm doing this for like 30 seconds. It's been a long night. I have a special guest co-host tonight because TZ is out. Correct. She had a Red Hot Chili Peppers concert? Is that what she said?
Yeah, Red Hot Chili Peppers, man, for a Mother's Day gift. Shout out to TZ, and I hope you have an enjoyable evening. But you know what? You got King Smith in the building.
I do. I got the actual King Smith right here checking in. What's going on, man?
Checking in from heaven, apparently, man. I'm up in the clouds right now. Might be high. Who knows?
I tell you, and I'm gonna let I gotta share the story because that was the bravest thing I have ever seen in real life. So we're getting ready, like I don't know, like 2 minutes ago, and he's like, "This cup, I don't know how long this has been here," and then I don't know what's in it. And he takes a drink out of it. I was like, "Holy shit, dude!" So you might actually be high and or in heaven. I don't know.
Yep, I got this snake cup. I do not know how long it's been on this desk. I smelled it, but I mean, I'm from Bama, Roll Tide, so I just, it is what it is. 5-second rule. This liquid could have been in this cup for 6 weeks. Who knows? if this is my last night tonight, y'all, it's been real.
Hey, fuck yeah, dude. Oh shit. So those of you who don't know, the actual King Smith is one of the hosts. Are you officially the host on Sunday?
Yep, I'd say a co-host. Both myself and Coach are the co-hosts of the Sports Bar here at WTF Nation Radio.
Yeah, and that is on Sundays, and you guys talk about all things sportsing.
Yep, all things sports related, conversations that you would have at an actual sports bar. It's not just the analytics of it all, but the real life stuff that happens as well in the sports realm.
Right. And then so like you guys have been going for about New Year's, right? Is when you guys started?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep. We came on board since January, and it's been nice having the people that watch and listen to a WTF Nation Radio and some of the other shows also tune in on Sunday nights with myself and Coach as well. So glad to be a part of the family, man. Glad to be here.
Well, I'm glad to have you on like a weeknight. And I'll be honest, to Sunday nights because my kids play soccer, right? Mm-hmm. So like every Sunday I'm like driving back from a fucking soccer tournament or like a hockey tournament or something. So I never get a chance to like hang out on Sunday nights. I try to catch you guys like on Mondays, like when I go to work. I'll play the YouTube video again the next day, just because I like watching our shows. Is how I started this was watching our shows, right? So I like to kind of fill myself in. I honestly, I'm the worst at sports, dude. I'm the worst at them anymore because like baseball is so boring to me now. Because it takes like 4.5 hours for like a game now, or 6 hours or some shit. I just can't, dude. And Coach is like, when I coach on, he's like, dude, they're doing things. I'm like, I know, but like when I go to real games, I haven't been to a game in forever. But like the Texas Rangers, last time I went in Arlington, they had like in like right field, you spent, I remember it was like $50, and it was like all the beer you could drink, and it was like actually it wasn't even like it was like a restaurant. And like right field, it was great. I don't know if they still have it. They should have the whole fucking stadium like that. It was fucking bomb, dude. You got like free nachos, free hot dogs, and all that beer you could drink for like $50. It's like, this is great. But I can't do that at my house. I got to pay for my beer and fucking hot dogs here. So,
Hey, Radar, I still owe you a $20 gift card to Starbucks or something. Let me know where you want your $20 gift card
for what?
And I'll send it to you. For the fantasy thing that you won like a long time ago.
Oh shit, yeah.
March Madness.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah.
you did win the sports bar's inaugural March Madness tournament, and I've been slipping about sending you that $20. But you know what? I have to be a man of my word because we want people to tune in to the sports bar as we'll kind of have things like that, right? We'll have the March
Mhm.
Madness tournaments. We're gonna do a season long fantasy football league where the host from all of the people from a WTF Nation Radio and whoever else wants to join, maybe 12 team league, 14 team league. We're gonna do a season long fantasy football league this year and talk about it during the show every Sunday come the NFL football season. So if I say I'm going to send something out, I have to deliver.
Well,
So
that's
sometime,
yeah.
man, in the back room, man, I need
Yeah.
to get your
I'll
information.
get you up. I'll get you up after the show. I'll send you my deets so you can get it on.
Bet.
So
Yes,
dude,
sir.
we gotta say hi to the guests. We got Phil Leach in the house. What's going on, man? We got Michael Carasquillo and Joe
Hey.
Lobin and fucking Heath Barlow's here. What's up? Sandra Hill. What's going on? Sarah Isabella, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming out. Phil Leach said he used to like baseball back in the Jeter days, but he can't get that interested anymore.
It's just I'm not a baseball fan either.
Yeah.
I've been to a few games, but I'm usually out of there by like the fifth inning.
Mm-hmm. I think the last time I got excited about a baseball game was when the Cubs were in the World Series.
Okay.
My grandma was a huge Cubs fan, and my grandma was like 84 years old when she died, right? Never got to see the Cubs in the World Series. Or like win a World Series. They were in a couple times, but 84 years old, never got to see the Cubs win a World Series. So when they won like the year after she died. Like she died in January, and that was the year that they won the World Series. So I had to watch it then. But that was the last time I really gave a shit about baseball. You know what?
From Chicago?
I'm from Iowa. So we don't have like an actual team of any sort there. So Chicago was kind of the closest, and I've been to Chicago a few times, and I really enjoyed it. I'll have an unpopular opinion because I'm kind of the same way about basketball, but like back in like the Jordan days, Jordan and Pippen and all them, like it feels like to me, like I tried watching some basketball the other night. It was on, and one of my kids was watching it, and it almost feels kind of like. I feel like the referees are it's almost like they're like the refs at like a WWE match. You know what I mean? Like it just kind of feels like, dude, that dude, he didn't even dribble. Like is that not, when traveling not a thing anymore? Like what do we even? It just felt like it felt very choreographed. It didn't feel like when you watch like the '90s Bulls, it was like raw and there's dudes like broken noses and shit. Like now it's just kind of like nah. And I like soccer, but those dudes were diving like worse than like the World Cup dudes were. I was like, come on, man.
Yeah, man, with the mangled hands and blood and stuff coming from their eyes. There's a lot of of the old school analysts that say that this generation of athletes is soft. That might be true. I don't know. I'm not a professional athlete.
I'll say this though, in their defense, in their defense, if you're paying me millions and millions of dollars for my hands or my feet, I'm gonna take care of them bitches.
True. I'm with you.
I get that, but it's just kind of like, man, it felt like I like watching college basketball, love it. I'll watch college hoops all day. But it just really felt like the NBA is kind of getting really, like I said, really choreographed. It felt very WWE versus like college wrestling. It's kind of how like college basketball and like NBA kind of feels to me anymore. And I know that like all those dudes are like, they're so good, right? There's so much talent in the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of feels like it's not like as raw. It doesn't feel like there's like that underdog story or like even like the underdog chances. Kind of feels like everything's like preordained. It just kind of felt like scripted or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that college to me, college is the sweet spot for athletics in any sport to me because you have people and it's kind of changed with the whole NIL, the name, image, and likeness stuff that's came out now. But you got people really competing because they're trying to earn something. They're trying to earn a shot at the next level,
Mm-hmm.
or they're trying to earn their free education or whatnot. But college sports to me has a lot more energy too because it's hungry young kids trying to make it, trying to prove a point. When you've made it to the league, depending on what your level of athleticism is, I mean, you kind of lose that hunger to me. And college games are always going to be more exciting for, to me, and I'll try and catch every college basketball or football game that I can.
Mhm.
It's just insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I do, and it's not just basketball; it's all college sports. They really do. They, like you said, they got the hunger. They're like, I need to, especially college football. Man, when I don't even know how many people they draft here, but you've got all those kids, all those seniors who are performing at that level and just need to show a little bit more how they're better than the other 200 running backs that are in the NCAA this year to try to find that one or two actual spots where they're going to get a chance to play. I know those kids get drafted and then they don't even get they don't even really dress. They might play some practice team or something for a couple years. And those guys make like 50 G's, something like that, to be on a practice team. And then they move on and they bring in some other new kids from Notre Dame or, TCU or something. And then, granted, that's more money than my fat ass is ever going to make playing football. I'm just saying. But they really do. They got to fight. They got to claw their way to get drafted or make it a practice team and then to make it further on and actually get on a pro field. Man, that's tough. And like you said, how many?
Exactly.
I don't even know how many kids graduate college every year with those aspirations, let alone high school. I mean, there's kids. I live in Podunk, middle of nowhere, South Dakota, and these dudes are like, man, I'm gonna make it. I'm like, bro, you're going to like Idiot Skills Community College, man. I don't know how you think you got a 50% scholarship to Idiot Skills, dude. Like, I don't know, dude. You're probably not gonna start for. I mean, you might start for like the Raiders when you get old, but like now you're not playing nowhere. But
exactly.
So CQ says seeing King makes me want Milk Duds.
Man, first of all, when you're this handsome, just know that everybody's gonna come for you. I shout out to CQ. That's my guy.
Oh man, it's hot in here. I'm dying. Pookie, dude, if I had punch and pie, I would give you some. That sounds good as fuck. I like punch and pie. I'm watching Coach Prime and what he is doing with my Colorado Buffaloes right now, and I'm really seeing if portal works out for him.
That's one I'm going to be watching what Coach Prime does at Colorado. I like what they're doing on the sports entertainment side with Well Off Media. That's his son's YouTube channel, and just what they're showcasing there. Look, every place that Coach Prime goes to, the teams that he plays on, they're winners. They're going to succeed, and I'm glad that he's kind of showing us the behind the scenes of what it takes to be a winner, be a champion. I watched one of his videos. He's like 50 something years old. He gets down there, he gets under 225, and he bench presses it easy. And I'm like, yo, that's when you know that you are or were an elite level athlete, when you can get there at 50 years old and still bench press 225 like it ain't shit. Wait,
right?
Hey, can we cuss here?
Yo, do you say what the fuck you want?
Sweet.
Yeah, I'll just give a shit. God, I wonder. I mean, like you said, like just like the air about him that follows him, right? But he can just go in there and like, what they had some game. I don't remember what it was. It was like an exhibition game, and like the fucking like last year they had like 7,500 people there, and like the stadium was almost sold out for this like exhibition game. He's already bringing that much attention to their program. Yeah. Like if he can do that now, like even because Colorado's not a horrible team. Like they got a lot of room for improvement, but he's not starting out, like I said, with Idiot Skills Community College. Like Colorado they're investing into their program, and it's not a horrible university to begin with, and Boulder's gorgeous, and they're going to bring in a lot of people anyway. But like, do you think that they're going to be a contender in the next, say, 5 years for a championship?
Ooh, contender for an NCAA championship.
Yep.
Look,
or at least a solid bowl game, like a winning a solid bowl game. Maybe not a championship, but like winning a solid Rose Bowl or fucking something like that.
I had this conversation last week. I think that this year, if they're an above 500 team, that's a success. Comparing to the fact that last year they only won one game. I think people are going to want to see Coach Prime and them come in, maybe win their conference, get to a good bowl game, and by year 3, definitely needing to be in that NC uh NCAA tournament for the championship. My 2 cents, man, it's kind of a wait and see game, but if I'm going to put myself out there, I think they're going to be above 500. Like
Hmm.
I'd be willing to put money on that.
Well, because
Mm,
not to be shitty, but like it's not just
yeah.
bringing in a Coach Prime on, is they're investing in the program, right?
Hmm.
It's not a secondary issue to them now. They're actually going out and recruiting good kids, and they can use, they can use him as like a, hey, come play for Dion, come play for Dion. But they're also like, hey, and I think a lot of student athletes want to hear that they're appreciated and they're going to be invested in.
Yes.
So that's going to encourage some kid who's on the fence. Well, maybe I'm going to go to Colorado, maybe I'm going to go to Nebraska, maybe I'm going to UT, but that might be the push to get better quality players. And then so it's not just one piece of the puzzle, it's actually pushing all these kids to, the whole program to rise up.
Yep.
So I think there's a lot of potential there. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not the sports dude. My kid's dad lives down there in Boulder. That's the closest thing that I've got to a connection to there. You know what I mean? So
Mhm.
I like Boulder. It's cool. I'll be down there, and actually next weekend I'll be in Boulder.
Nice.
So, but I mean, then again, like they could have just shit the bed too. I mean, he could get pissed off and take off. I mean, because he's got what, a 5-year contract with them or something like that.
Mhm.
So I don't know. David Cunningham said the last time they won a national championship was 1990. He says, watch out for MSU.
MSU, Mississippi State.
I guess. That's what he said, MSU. And then Pookie says it looks like you're on a Windows XP desktop.
Hey, Pookie, I'll take that.
Man, I feel bad because like everyone else gets like a bubble. I just get like the square. My co-host and guest just get the square on the side because I'm not good at OBS. That's it. Sorry about it.
Fix that shit.
I need to. I'm trying. Man, I didn't even know earlier. Like they logged me out. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to get help. I'm bad at this. You guys are way better at this than I am. Because I sent you a text like we just talk about bullshit. I don't know what I'm talking about in 20 minutes. And when I get into the show, I never would have guessed already we'd be talking about Deion Sanders. Not a clue. So
I like it.
There we go. So, but so you're new-ish to my listeners. So tell us a little bit about like your background. Like, where did you come from? Like,
Hey, all right. So I'm the son of an Army veteran. My dad did about 13 years in the Army, and when the Army downsized, he chose to take the voluntary separation pay instead of attempting to stay in and trying to at least get to 20. He was a heavy equipment operator, like the guys that did the forklifts and the big, Mack trucks or whatever. Like I don't
Mhm.
really know what they're called. So I traveled around a lot up until he got out when I was in about the 3rd grade. So about 8, 9 years old. Then from there, we settled down in Alabama. Fast forward to high school. I'm getting into sports. I'm a pretty decent football player. So I'm thinking I'm going to get a scholarship and go play football as a running back somewhere. And I didn't get any offers into places that I really wanted to go to. I was thinking about how to travel and just get out the house, and I was going to join the Marines. My friend and I were going to do the buddy system and join the Marines. And the biggest selling point, was the recruiter and I were about the same size. And I tried on his dress blues, and they had this big open window. So as I'm standing in his dress blues, you got these other teenage girls outside the window looking at me and just smiling. And I'm like, oh, hell yeah, I have to get into the Marines. I go back and I talk to my mom and dad about it, and they're like, fuck no. Uh, they're like, if you want to join the Marines, you're going to have to wait until you turn 18. We're not signing the paperwork to have you go out early. And their biggest reason at the time, they had some family members that had been into some wars that how do I say this nicely? They didn't get proper care and stuff coming out of the wars, and it really messed them up. So they didn't want me to be a part of that type of legacy.
Mhm.
And they said if you are wanted to join any of the armed forces, you could join the Navy or the Air Force. So I went over, I talked to the Air Force recruiter. You have to find that dude. That dude was always, he was never in his office.
Yep.
The Army people would come to your house, to your school, pick you up, take you out to eat, do whatever. The Air Force guy, eh, if you saw him, great, you know. So I just happened to catch him on the day. I went and took the ASVAB, joined the Air Force. I spent 9 years as an in-flight refueler, commonly called a boom operator. And that's I flew around on the KC-135, passing gas in the air. So I tell people, you know, for 9 years I got paid to lay down and pass gas. I loved my job. It allowed me to travel to over 20 something countries, see the world, experience different cultures, and I'm thankful for it. I got medically retired due to a heart condition in 2009. I'm the first dude, as far as I know, that's had heart disease. How it came about, I have no idea, but I'm thankful that it was caught. The Air Force and the VA has taken care of me for the most part. So
Well, that's
that's my
good.
story, man. Married and divorced, father of a sophomore in high school, a teenage girl.
Well, there you go. Tight. So Heath wants to know what part of Alabama.
I am from Anniston, Alabama. I graduated from Sachs High School. If I say that, so Sachs is a small school. If you've heard of it, then you are indeed from Alabama. If you've never heard of it, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
But it's like northeast
Okay.
Alabama.
Phil says the Blues do it all the time. Hook, line, and sinker.
Hook like, hey man, yep, man. I was sitting in there in them dress blues. Man, I had the sword right there too.
Oh, yeah, the whole
Man,
thing.
I could see their
Oh, he was a good
faces
recruiter,
looking at
man.
me, smiling,
He
licking
wa-
their lips.
He was a good recruiter because I tell you what, I'm an ugly motherfucker, and I did put me in blues. I went home and I was slaying pussy, so it was. I know what they mean. I know what they mean.
Yep.
That's if I was ever going to be a recruiter, man, I was going to have like 3 sets of blues in like different sizes, but like, just put this on and walk around the mall for a minute. Yo, that's
Yep.
good shit. That's right. That's smart right there.
Eh,
Get Usurek
yeah.
on here. We'll tell him what's up. But actually, you know, my uncle did that. He flew. He was a pilot. He flew in Vietnam, and then he flew KC 10s. I think they're KC 10s for a while.
The KC-10, yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
And then he went back to cargo planes and flew C5s. He was flying until he retired. So yeah. And then Phil Leach says, "Gas man, pump that shits."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, it's good that they took care of you.
Mhm.
Like, because I mean, I don't know, because I got out, I got medically retired from the army, and then they took care of me pretty good. When I got out of the Marine Corps, I went in the Marine Corps first. I went in the Marine Corps in 08. And when I got out in 04, they're just like, all right, bye, see ya, fuck out. There was no, when I went back and joined the army, that when they got my medical record from, because they turn it into somewhere, right? My medical record that showed up to the army had my dental records in it, and that was it. Didn't have my flight physicals in it. Didn't have nothing in it. Didn't have shit. Didn't have my shot records. Didn't have nothing in it. They just purged it all. But now that was before everything was digital, right? Now everything's digital, so it's a lot easier. But yeah, it was kind of a mess. I had copies of a lot of it, but like not my flight physicals and all that shit. It was like none of that shit was in there. It was just a handful of shit that I had. So, but yeah. So that's cool. At least, like I said, at least they took care of you. Like the Air Force, the Army had to with me because I got hurt overseas. That was the only reason they probably took care of me. So I don't know. But Phil says, "Shit, I was just happy my recruiter took us to the range one Saturday so we could get familiar with the A4, and it's still weird. Oh, he's weird. It's still weird that I was in before your radar and you're older. I don't know. How are you in before me if I'm older than you? Because I went in when I was 17.
Yep, same. I went in when I was 17. I graduated high school 2002.
Mhm.
I enlisted September 10, 2002. So a year and a day after 9/11.
Yep. Oh shit. Yeah. I was in 9/11.
Or a year and a day prior to 9/11.
Okay, yeah, because I actually signed up. Shit, I enlisted. Because I was in the Marine Corps. You've seen how that works a little bit with the buddy program and all that. And I was in delayed entry for a whole year.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so yeah, I enlisted in 07, but I went in 08 after I graduated. So, Keith enlisted in 91. Holy shit. That's like first Gulf War stuff. Damn.
Jesus.
David Cunningham joined in
Okay.
83. I think that's 83. I really do think that's when ICE went in. It was about then, wasn't it? 83, 85, 87?
I'd have all kind of old jokes being that I was born in 84, but you know what? Salute to y'all.
Oh, no,
if I'm ever in y'all area, let me know, man, because I like to have a beer with some of y'all, man, because I see the names, right? Heath and Richard and everybody, and I'm like, man, it's like some cool ass individuals, man. I love to have a beer with
Fuck
some
yeah,
of the
dude.
people that be tuning in.
I know. We need to just have like a big get together. But that's just, we're all from so far away. Like I don't even know where to have it.
Mm-hmm.
I do it like in the middle of the country. We'll go to Fort Riley in Kansas is right in the middle, and nobody likes it there. So it'd be fine. It'd be perfect.
Perfect.
Oh shit. Mike Larson says the blurry background looks like your hair fell out.
God dang it. I can't satisfy.
You just can't win. Ooh, David
Man.
Cunningham said Vegas. We should all go to Vegas.
Hey, sign
like
me up
it.
for that.
Phil said Ice went in 88 or 89. He remembers because his service length is my age, and I tease him about it.
Nice.
Oh shit. 88. Yeah, I was 8 years old. I was born in 80, so it's easy to do the math. Fucking, oh my God. So my wife, we've been doing stuff around the house, right? We've been working on the house. And one of the fucking lights in the garage broke. And she's like, oh, that's been up there for probably about 40 years. She's like, I think they probably put it up there in like the mid 80s. I'm like, shut up. Don't say that. That makes it sound like. I was like, my daughter's car, we got her a little Volkswagen, and it's a 98. And my wife's like, yeah, it's like 25 years old. I'm like, fuck, that's when I graduated high school. Don't say that shit now. Don't even go that. That's a bad place to put me. We don't want to be there. Not yet.
Man, time is flying, man. Mine is about to be 16, and I'm going to take her to get her learner's permit sometime next month. And I'm just like, yo, I just remember like just yesterday she was like this. And now she's got a boyfriend and shit, and
Oh shit.
about to be driving. I'm like, fuck.
Oh, dude, here you can drive like when you're super young. You get your permit when you're 14, and you can actually start driving. You get what's called a restricted minor's permit at 14 and a half. And that's fucking scary, dude. Some of these kids driving to high school in the mornings. I have to take my one son is still in elementary school, so I have to like drive him by the high school, and all those kids in the morning are trying to like take me out. I'm like, come on, man, just a little bit closer, man. So,
They're like GTA, motherfucker.
fuck yeah, dude, they're ridiculous. They're hopping the curbs and shit. My son's like, well, can I ride my bike? I'm like, because you will die. You will die if you ride your bike to school. You're not doing that. So they actually went so far to, there's like a creek, there's like a little bridge, right? And there's the creek runs underneath it. And they made a walkway underneath the road because they don't trust them motherfuckers. They're like, no, we don't need kids dying from these high school motherfuckers. No.
Mm-hmm.
Heath will be 50 this year, and he has a 5-year-old. Dude, bruh, I thought I was bad because I'm going to be 43 this year, and I got a 6, well, she'll be 7 in a couple days. Whew.
Man, I got the snip several years ago,
I should have
and
got
I
that.
am thankful for it. I got one kid, and I was good with just one.
Dude, we got 8. We got 8 kids.
God dang,
you
got a whole starting 5 and a reserve.
Mm-hmm. Well, because I had 4 and she had 4.
Uh-huh.
And when we got married, and fuck, man, we're like the Brady Bunch plus, bro. It sucks, man. But it's whatever. It's fun because like, well, one, a lot of them are older. So we already have 2 out of high school. We got one that she graduated at semester, but her graduation is on Saturday. And then we have 2 more years, 2 more graduates. So then we'll be down to like 3 kids left, and that'll be done, and like that'll be all right. Then we like have like a normal number. But dude, now the girls are all old enough, like they go to work and whatnot. So like just having dinner for like 4 of us, I don't even know how to cook anymore. I don't know how to cook. I can cook for like 20. Because it used to be like all my kids' friends would come over after practice. They'd have like drama practice and soccer practice and everything else. And there'd be like fucking 20 kids here. I'm like, tight spaghetti for everybody, biscuits and gravy for all y'all. Nope, I don't even know what to do anymore. I'm like, why am I cooking 3 pounds of hamburger for 2 of us? This is ridiculous. But oh shit. Oh, so we had some issues, and I want your take on this. We're gonna get a little serious now. So what's going on for what's your take on stolen valor? Right, because we had this dude that's been trying to get on, and he's a fuck. He's a fuck, and he's been using his stories to like get money, right, and further his career and all this shit. And I think that's fucking bullshit, and I'm not a fan. And as far as I'm not gonna say the dude's name. I don't want to fucking give him any of that. But like, I was talking to a dude at work, and it was kind of a similar topic. I had said nothing about internal things here. I don't do that. But we had a guy come in, right? And because I have a veteran only crew. Like everyone applies for my job or to work for me is a veteran. Okay. We had a guy come in. He had a DD-214, so he's obviously been in at some point, and was telling some stories that were kind of sketch. We're like, nah, I didn't do that. You know what I mean? Like, but we got to thinking about it. Like, I was thinking at some point, like, I'm sure I've told fucking stories that have got a little bit out there. You know what I mean? The little bit, everyone embellishes a story. Like, so you always tell a war story is going to be good because no shit, dude. And when it starts like, no shit, you know it's going to be a good story, right? Mm-hmm. But you know it's going to have some little embellishment sprinkled in there. So, like, what is and then you have the guys, too, like the dudes who go to the PX and buy every fucking ribbon and their racks up like they look like Chesty Puller with all that shit on, you know? Like, what? I hate saying, well, what's okay with that anymore? Like, what do you think? Like, saying you have something like a Purple Heart or a Bronze Star, obviously that's fucking, that's too much. But, or saying you were in the military when you weren't, is too much. That's fucking, you can't do that shit. But like, where's the line? You know what I mean?
Man, so for me, I think like if you have the DD-214 and or the citations for things that accomplished while you were in, then that speaks to the service that you did as a person, right? Now, for charities or for work or anything like that that requires that kind of stuff to qualify as your this is proof that you were a veteran, or this is proof that you were a combat veteran because you have you know, I forget the things that can highlight that show that you were actually in theater. Because like I've got like 7 air medals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And those air medals come with citations because you did combat tours over Iraq, over Afghanistan, whatever.
Right.
Using that type of stuff to get you qualified for something is how it should work. If you don't have that stuff, but you want to make a claim to then get a position or get some type of grant money or something for things that were designated for a combat veteran or a veteran, and you did not do those things, that's where the line should be drawn. Because, like you said, look, man, I've embellished some stuff. Now, I do have other stories and things that because I have a peer that was right there with me, they can verify, you know, what I've done or parts of that story or, you know, anything like that. But the people like that you've got displayed on the screen right now,
like these dudes,
that would baffle me. Now, if I showed my ribbon rack, right? So you were in 2 different branches of service.
Yep.
I can imagine because I was in for about 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I have a 7x3 because I did a lot of traveling. I did a lot of deployments and things like that. So, you know, I was in for just under 10 years with several different medals and about 22 different ribbons, right? But to get to that level, man, That's interesting. Like the guy in the middle right there. Holy
Yeah.
crap.
Well, I mean, all of them. Like that dude, that dude on the right. I think he's like Canadian or some shit, and he has like all the medals too. But like, I mean, because you see like these dudes all the time. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that. Like obviously when you see like this dude, you see that dude in the middle, and it's shit's all fucking crooked and whatever. Like I never got accused of it, but I have people kind of give me the side eye sometimes because I'd have like a Marine Corps good conduct medal and like an Army good conduct medal, right? And they're basically the same, except for the Marine Corps has got like a brown stripe in the middle, right? And the Army's got like white stripes on the outside. And so you start looking at it, and I have like Marine Corps Commendation Medal, Army Commendation Medal, Marine Corps Achievement Medal, Army Achievement Medal. Like, so you have all these. They're kind of, I mean, they're the same fucking rank. But it makes your, like you said, it makes your rib rat just get bigger. So people are like looking at my shit and be like, dude, sorry. And then anybody who had worked with other services be like, okay, yep, that's the Sea Service Deployment ribbon. That is, you know, and the Marine Corps is pretty stingy on the ribbons. You know what I mean? They're not as, I think that the Navy and the Air Force give out a lot more stuff. The Marine Corps is very,
I agree with that.
You got to really, you know, I got a lot of, certificates of appreciation that in the Army would have been an Army Achievement Medal. Absolutely. And I think, which is fine. It's whatever. Like now, I mean, honestly, I've been out since 2014. So for the last 8 years, I haven't worn a fucking ribbon. So what's it really matter?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And I think that's part of it too. Like Phil said, the NAM and the Sea Duty are probably the most common. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Sea Duty, your Sea Service Deployment ribbon or your whatever. But I mean, like those guys in this, right? Well, first off, my fat ass won't even fit in a uniform anymore, right? Secondly, and I'm not gonna go buy one. I thought about buying one when my son like graduated from basic, and I thought about getting one and putting it. I was like, you know what? No, I'm not doing that. Sounds dumb. It's his day. Let him have it. But I mean, like, when you go through shit now, like, I don't know, like dudes go get like, I don't know about where you're at, but we're here. If you have a Bronze Star, you can get a Bronze Star on your license plate, or you can get a Purple Heart or Iraq Campaign Medal or something like that. Mine says like veteran, and the only reason I got veterans plates is because it's cheaper. It's $10 to get veterans plates. So I was like, all right, tight, let's get those instead of paying 130 something. Fuck that, I'll pay $10. Right? So, and I think mine just say combat veteran on them. It didn't say Iraq. It didn't say Army. It has the Army symbol, right? And I could pick between the Marine Corps symbol and the Army symbol. I can pick whatever one I want because I have earned both. But I just said put combat veteran on it. There you go. Perfect. There you go. That's all I need to see. You know what I mean? But I mean, some people like really go. I know we've seen video or pictures on the main page of some dude will be like, he's got like a National Defense Service Medal on his fucking plate and shit. But hey, he fucking earned it, right? He's got a National Defense Service Medal. So good on you. There you go. I mean, everyone got one. Not everyone got one. Even I don't get one. But I mean, like you said, like, okay, like those dudes we just showed, like these guys, right? No one's going to take them seriously, right? If that dude showed up at the VFW or the Legion Hall or anybody, we're all going to fucking like know he's full of shit. We see him at the fucking airport. We know they're full of shit. Like, I almost don't even want to like approach people like that. Because then they get all fucking defensive and they make a big scene and blah, blah, blah. And I look the way I do, so I don't even look like I fucking have much of a right to say anything. They're like, hey, Tubby, when were you in? Were you in the fucking Gravy Seals or some shit? Like, fuck you. But anyway, but I mean, like, what do you do? You know, like, but they're not, I guess I don't know what those guys were particularly trying to do, if they were trying to get money or advanced placement or something or whatever. And like I said, the guy that spurred this on for me came in and like he had a DD-214 in his hand, right? So I can deduce all I'll require is having a DD-214 in your Dick Skinner's. That's all I care about. Then I can put it in your fucking file, and I can send it to the feds and get grant money. You know what I mean? Like, it's all I need. They don't give a shit what stories you tell. You can tell me you shot Bin Laden. The fucking BLM don't care. I get my money from the Bureau of Land Management, dude. They don't give a shit what you did. And all I want is a DD-214 on file. So, like, you know what? What? I guess I don't even understand kind of the point of
Me
it.
neither. I will never get the type of person that chooses to do that for whatever fake clout or recognition that they could get from it. Well, maybe you know what? I don't know. I can't even begin to think about why they would do something like that because I just wouldn't do something like that. It doesn't make sense to me.
No, no. I actually got to the point towards the end of my time. Like, I was like, don't fucking give me more medals. Don't. I want to buy more shit. I don't want to buy. I'm getting out. You are retiring me. I don't want to fucking go buy another oak leaf for my fucking Army Achievement Medal. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, honestly, it's probably for me coming back from Iraq. When we left Iraq and the dude who basically saved my life got a ARCOM and the fucking dudes who never left the fob got bronze stars. I didn't give a shit about medals one bit after that. I ain't fuck. You could have gave me more medals than those dudes in those pictures, and I wouldn't have given a shit. Wouldn't have given a shit. I mean, and it boils down to, like, I know what I did. Same as you're talking about. You know what you did. You know what you didn't do. You know where you've been. You know where you hadn't been. Like, and if you want to get into something like the VFW, you have to have the fucking paperwork. Hey, here's my here's my Iraq campaign medal. Here's my Afghanistan campaign medal, or Vietnam, or whatever it takes for you to get in that organization. You got to fucking have a certificate for it. You got to have it on your DD-214. You got to have fucking something other than the medal that you can buy online. Because you can get on fucking eBay or Amazon and order all them fucking medals and have them all delivered to your house and put them on your shit crooked as fuck like these dudes. You know what I mean? And be like, oh, look at me. God, that guy in the middle, that dude in the Air Force, he doesn't even look like he's just like... Them other dudes are fucking owning it, man. Look at that. Look at that dude in the Marine Blues, man. And he's just fucking... He is owning that shit. He's like, look at me and my mustache.
And
Like
then
that.
look too, if you're gonna scam, man, make it believable. Like the
Right.
guy in the middle, too young to have earned and gotten everything that he's got listed up there. Like those wings are chief wings. You have to have at least had, I think it's 15 years of like flying service to be able to get the chief wreath on
Mhm.
your wings. And oh man, like if you're old, like the guys on the outsides right there, okay, boom, that's a little bit closer to believable, I guess.
Right.
But come on,
Well, like this, dude. Okay, I'm gonna have to take this down for just a minute so I can change this around. Okay, but this guy here, he's actually a little bit more believable because of just like we're kind of talking about. Oh, wrong one. Cancel. Man, I am bad at this. I am bad at this.
and where's your assistant at?
I don't
have an
even have
assistant.
one. I need to get one. I don't even know where it went now. Oh, anyway, hold on. Let me try resetting this. Oh, I don't even know what I did now. There we go. Save image. There we go. Oh, it's a weird fucking file. Never mind. This guy, he's like an older dude. He's got like Master Sergeant stripes on, and he's got like, I don't know, like 15 ribbons. Combat infantry badge, jump wings. Like, you could probably pull it off, right? But I'm guessing that he was using it. I can't fucking try just doing that. Oh no, don't do that. That was a bad thing. But like, you know, like this other dude, like they've got these dudes who, like, they could probably pull it off.
Bill said one to easily spot a fake. They've got a GWAT medal. I'm trying to remember.
Global War on Terrorism.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think. I think I got a GWAT medal.
Yeah,
Now I'm curious. I know I got my DD-214 somewhere. No, that wouldn't be on your D. Yeah, that would be on your D. What's the thing that shows all your medals?
Yeah, your DD-214 will have it on there. Okay, this guy. Here we go. Boom. Oh, he's really small.
That's what she said.
It's probably why it's on this thing. All right, so this dude. Okay, I mean,
All right.
pull the goatee off him, but like you could probably pull that off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If
That's
I
a
saw
lot
that
more
dude,
believable.
if I saw that dude with like his face shaved, and I don't know, I didn't look at his rack close enough to see what's close enough, you know, if it's real or not, you know, in the right order. And so that's usually the big tell for me is if the things are in the right order.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, this guy could probably pull that off. I've I've seen a couple mass sergeants. He looked a little bit young, but honestly, after my last deployment to Iraq, dude, I was meeting like 22-year-old fucking sergeant first classes and shit. Like, some of the dudes got promoted like that, man. So especially them grunts and fucking going like in the surge in Iraq. There's some dudes. There were some guys I thought were real young to be fucking platoon sergeants, but there they were. So I said a surface warfare button under the left scroll. I don't know, maybe on me. I don't know surface warfare.
Hey, so I'm looking at my DD-214 now. Yeah, global war on
Because there's
terrorism
2 of them.
service medal.
Yeah, there's 2 of them. There's a global
And,
war on
and
terrorism.
the global war on terrorism expeditionary medal.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Got both of those. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's just it. You can have both. Or can you only? I think you only have one, or only wear one. I'm not sure how that fucking works. I don't know. Because I had both of them too. Because one's blue and one's white, I think. His is green. His cord. I don't know. But like this dude, like this, you could pull that off. But like I said, I don't know what he's on. I don't know. I just typed in, he's on Reddit, Stolen Valor. But I mean, like, you see the dudes who get like a fucking, you see these guys who get like a Congressional Medal of Honor or some shit. Like, dude, I didn't see you on TV with Barack Obama, so you didn't get no Congressional Medal of Honor. Like, sorry about it. Like, it didn't fucking happen, dude. Everybody would know. We would like write books about you and shit. Like, no, sorry about it, dude.
Yeah, you'd have some type of Netflix special within like a year
Yeah,
about
no
what you
shit.
did. No Netflix special, no Congressional Medal of Honor.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, some of these dudes come out looking like the fucking what's that Sacha Baron Cohen movie, The Dictator, where they got shit like all the way down to like their belt and shit. They look like they fucking were in like them Russian victory parades and shit. Like them dudes from like World War II. Yeah, stick Dakota Mayer on them. That's right. Fuck, dude. Let's see. Joe said you could only wear the Expeditionary Medal if you didn't wear the Afghan or Iraq Campaign Medal. Okay, that's well, I will never. I think it's probably my ribbon rack, and I have the Iraq and Afghanistan Campaign Medal. But I don't, whatever. Oh, I have one for deploying and one for not. One's like dark blue, and I think one's like a light blue or some shit. I don't fucking remember.
Hey,
I just kept getting shit. Yeah.
I have a question for you about this Stolen Valor stuff. I see it's a lot more dudes that do it. Have you heard of or seen any cases of the ladies doing like Stolen Valor type stuff? I'm just curious.
You know, I haven't.
Me neither.
I haven't.
And look, I'm just gonna say it. Seems to be a lot more white dudes out here doing Stolen Valor stuff.
Yeah, there is.
Than it is, us darker skinned brothers or the Asians.
Right?
I'm just gonna say it.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong at all. You know, and I'm looking through this, and a lot of it is, like younger white dudes too.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder. Hold on, I'm gonna throw a theory out there. Okay, this is okay. I have not done any research whatsoever except for I went to Google. I typed in Stolen Valor, and then I went to images. That was my only research into this topic, other than bullshitting with other veterans. I'm gonna start with a caveat to that. But yeah, your synopsis has proven true so far. Okay. But a lot of these guys are kind of our age. A lot of these guys are showing up are kind of our age. And I wonder if that has something to do with that kind of 9/11 culture. Right? You remember, and you being on the East Coast in specific, you kind of probably had more of that real sense of duty. I know CQ and I have talked about this. Like when 9/11 happened, right? Everybody who could kind of went to the deal, right? Went to the recruiting office of whatever service they wanted and signed up. It felt like it was a very thing to do at that time. A lot of those guys did their 3-4 years, got out and fought in Iraq or Afghanistan, did a year overseas and then got out, which is perfectly fine. You're just as much a veteran as fucking someone who did 25 years, in my opinion. You went to boot camp, and I know a guy, he worked for me for a while. He went to basic AIT, got to his final duty station, was there for like 3 months, and he found out he had like some fucking ailment in his back, and they chaptered him out. Still a veteran. It wasn't his fault. He didn't fucking puss out. He was trying to stay in. They said, nope, your back's fucked. You have to get out. Not his fault. Whatever. He's still a fucking veteran, in my opinion. Right? But I think a lot of these guys maybe saw us, guys our age, go and get a little bit of recognition or a little bit of attention when we got back, saying, hey, thanks for your service. I just look at that shit. Like I said, I got the veteran plates because they're cheap and I'm cheap. So that's the whole fucking reason I got them. But there's a Walmart the other day. Some lady's like, hey, thanks for your service. I went to like the McDonald's drive-thru and they're like, hey, do you want a military discount? Okay, sure, whatever. Yeah, I'll take 25% off McDonald's. Sure, why the fuck not? I don't go looking for it. I don't go asking for it. I don't fucking whatever. But sometimes it just happens, and maybe they're trying to get a little bit of that attention, which is whatever. I understand. People do things to get attention. People dress like Kurt Cobain to get attention, and people fucking, tell wild stories to make themselves more important or whatever. I kind of understand that a little bit. I just don't understand like the depths of this. Because that shit's expensive. To go buy a set of dress blues in whatever service you want. I know Marine Corps dress blues, just the fucking jacket is like $350. And then all the other, so dudes are spending $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 to look a fool. Really? And get what out of it?
Makes no sense to me.
I know.
I tried to put my fat ass inside of my flight suit about a month ago. Talk about an ego deflator.
Ooh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
I tried to zip it up, and I was like, "Yep, nope. Let me take this back off. This ain't happening."
I did the same thing. I found a couple of my flight suits in my shit, and I still have. I probably have like 4 or 5 duffel bags full of shit from the Marine Corps. I saw my Army shit like at my old house, and fuck that. But yeah, I was going through that, and I found a couple and I couldn't. I could get it to where I would get just past my belly button. That's about it. No, that shit was not going up higher than that. I'd probably struggle to get my fucking flak jacket right there. If I'm honest, shit. I've been trying to lose weight. I've been cycling. So I've been riding mountain bikes for a long time, and I've tried to pick it back up this year. My knee was really bothering me last year, and so I had to kind of take a step back. But I've really been trying to at least get 3 to 5 miles a day in. So
nice, dude.
Yeah, Phil said it's $1,200 to $1,600 for a full set of Alphas. I believe it. I believe it anymore. I know it's been a long time since I bought anything, uniform wise, and it was super expensive. Fuck the new, and those pinks and greens are even more expensive. Those are super expensive. Fuck that.
Hey, so for y'all, like because we get a clothing allowance annually, right? But like our flight suits were always issued to us. So if you needed a new flight suit, you would just go talk to whoever had the card or whatever, and you would go get. So you never had to pay for your flight suits out of pocket. The only things that we had to pay for out of pocket in the Air Force were our dress blues, and I think we had to pay for flight boots. No. Actually, flight boots were also something that you could go get purchase. So every year when you got your annual clothing allowance, you kept most of that money because you didn't have to really pay for anything to wear on your day to day, man. I used to love that. Like, ooh, this is the biggest check of my year. And I always knew when that was coming.
See,
it'd be your bonus, it'd be your regular pay, it'd be your clothing allowance, all in one check.
See, in mine, because like I said, I joined like right when I turned 17, and mine was August 11th, my birthday, I enlisted August 11th. My birthday is the 15th, and so the 15th of the month, or the 15th of August, is when I would get my clothing allowance. So that was my fucking birthday. So there was some titty bar wherever I was stationed at that was getting my fucking. They got all my clothing allowance, because I was the same way. Because we wore flight suits nearly every day. Right, every Monday we had to wear camouflage uniform. We had a uniform inspection. We take it off, hang it up, put on a flight suit, and every day we had the our steel toe flight boots that we had to wear every day, you know. And you get hydraulic fluid on them or fuel on them, whatever. You're not polishing them; they won't take polish. So we would just take like some mop and glow and put it on there every now and again to look presentable when we were around people who got paid more than we did. But really, no one gave a shit if you're in a flight suit anyway. Half the time, and Marines are kind of dumb. So if you're wearing a flight suit, they'd fucking salute you. It's fucking great. I was a corporal and getting saluted. It's great. But as a Marine, every Friday we had some sort of uniform inspection, whether it be our class, our Charlies or our Alphas or whatever. And so we would have to wear them and we have to keep them serviceable. But I mean, yeah. Just take them off and put them in your shit. And flight suits, we had to go to HME, the flight suit people. They were like they were the ones who did our oxygen and everything like that. Our flight equipment. You had to go to there to get if you wanted new boots or new. But I mean, what size boots do you wear? I wear 9.5. Here you go, tight. You know what I mean? Every now and again, they make you sign for them. I think if they got a new guy in, get a sign for him. Basically, you just go in there and any flight suit, what size you wear? I wear 36. Here you go. You know what I mean? Like, they never said shit. So, but yeah. Then we got tan ones. When we got to tan ones, they got kind of shitty about it. I don't think they had very many tan ones. But
we had the tan ones just for downrange.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd only get those issued to you whenever you were deploying downrange. And I mean, we would have, how many would we have? I think we would deploy with 4 or 5.
I think we have 4. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, Phil says his desert camis were almost completely white. Mine were too, dude. I remember because we actually left when we left for Afghanistan, dude. Like they didn't even give us issue our desert camis yet, and we got to Afghanistan, and then like I don't know, a couple days later, a week or so later, they flew in a fucking Connex box full of them.
Nice.
And I remember like I didn't fly that day, and they were like, hey Ford, do you want to come over here, get your fucking desert camis? Like, tight, that's cool. They hand me a pair of desert boots and a couple pairs of desert camis and a couple tan flight suits, and off I go, right? Well, then they had me try them on. I'm like, fuck, I'm a small regular, dude. I know what size fucking BDUs I wear. And put them on, and they're like, all right, here's your hat, dude. And so I'm walking back, and I got a fucking bag full of desert camis, and my sergeant major just screams at me, fucking, what are you doing in desert camis? He said, what on God's green earth are you doing in desert camis? And I look at him, and I look behind me, and I'm like, we're in the desert, Sergeant Major. And I just kept fucking walking. And I thought his fucking top was going to blow, dude. I thought he was going to fucking ring me up. Sergeant Major Day. Holy shit, he was mad. But he just didn't know where I got him from. I was being a smart ass, but I wasn't wrong, so I couldn't be in trouble. So
True that.
But yeah, and then they gave us the camouflage covers too for our helmets, the desert camouflage covers. And then they took my pistol away and gave me an M16 A2. Like, you don't need an M9, you need a pistol, or you need a rifle. Why the fuck do I need a rifle? I'm on helicopters, dude. This thing's a pain in my dick. Oh, you know, if you get shot down. If I got shot down, I got bigger things to fucking worry about than having a fucking rifle.
Exactly. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So our plane, the KC-135, would fly 30,000 feet in the air. Well, they decided to take the parachutes out to save weight, fuel costs, all this other reasons or whatever. And people are like, oh, but you know, if we get shot down, like, you know, and we have to jump out the airplane, it was like, when was the last time anybody's had to jump out of a KC-135? If something were to happen, you've got bigger problems.
Yup. Dude, you were on fucking how many millions of gallons of fucking jet fuel right now? If you get hit with a missile, you're gone anyway, son. I don't know what you want. Secondly, they ain't got them. They ain't got nothing. You're fine. Just worst case scenario, get a flame out. You can coast for quite a while.
Man, the
You can
Marines
glide for a
make
long
no sense.
time.
Why would you give somebody a rifle on an airplane? That literally makes no sense.
Well, I was on a helicopter. We did a lot of shit. We were constantly on the, we do a lot of drops and shit. But then two, they took all of our M9s away. I didn't have an M9. The pilots they gave MP5s to. And I'm thinking
That could make sense.
Yeah, I don't know if they had M9s too. They took a lot of our, well, we didn't have a lot. That was part of the problem. We didn't have a lot of M9s when we first deployed. I think that's why they gave me an M16. And actually, I had a shotgun that someone left on my bird. Sucks to suck. That was cool. I was walking around with a shotgun for a while. That was pretty cool. I just found a chick that was found to have stolen valor a year ago on YouTube. That's from Joe Lobin.
What?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Fucking hook it up.
Okay, so
I want to see this
happen.
girl.
Wow.
Apparently, it happens. Yeah. I think a lot more of it probably is just that, elevating stories, and I think we're probably all guilty of that at some point, at some level. Like everyone's kind of guilty of it. Oh, you're not at all? Ever?
No, I'm saying I've done it.
Oh yeah.
I'm not even gonna sit here and say I haven't. I've done it.
But I mean, I just don't. I still don't get it. Like I said, this dude, he could almost pull it off. This dude could almost pull it off. But I don't understand why. Why would you? What are you gonna get? And like I said, I know for a fact the dude who we had issues with, oh yeah, that's a whole video. I need a picture. Anyway, I know the dude that was trying to get on the radio. He's trying to make money off of us, and some other foundations. He was stealing money from foundations and shit. Fuck that. That's some bullshit. Don't try to fucking. And this is my opinion on all that. And it doesn't matter if it's stolen valor or not. If you work for something that's any sort of organization that's supposed to help veterans, you don't fucking steal money from them. Period. You're stealing from your brothers and sisters. On that, it don't fucking matter if you're stolen valor or not.
Mm-hmm.
Period. So
I was at an airport recently, and you know how some have lounges that if you're a veteran, you could wait in that lounge, right? And they usually have a volunteer worker or somebody that's there to check to make sure that you're eligible to use that lounge or whatnot. And I was in there, the worker had left to go to the restroom or something, and this family came in, and I could hear them talking. They're like, "Well, I don't know if we can use this lounge. Like, we didn't serve Henry." And the guy was like, "Well, it's still fine." So the volunteer came back, was like, "Oh, hey, have y'all signed in?" And the guy was like, "Nope." He was like, "Oh, well, just show me your ID or whatnot, and y'all can use here. You can go get the free food, rest or whatever." And the guy was like, "Oh yeah, I left my ID in the car." And she was like, "Well, I can't let you in."
Right.
But he was just trying to use that lounge or whatnot. But I heard the conversation in where I guess his wife was saying, "Hey, we didn't serve, we shouldn't be in here," and he was still trying to use that lounge. Stuff like that, to me, that type of stuff bothers me, because it's like, look, you're not eligible. Chill out.
Right. Actually, this girl, I would almost. I don't know that I quit. That's about right. Staff sergeant, been in 8 years. Not a whole crazy amount of medals. If I was at the VFW and she walked in, I might not say words to her about it. Hair's right.
Yeah.
Her hair's right. That's one of the things for especially female Marines, I think, is they are very, very, very particular on their hair. And her hair's right. So that'd be tough. If she walked in, I don't know if I'd call a bullshit flag on her. She's pretty legit looking, So yeah, the USO. I haven't tried to use the USO since I've got out. Can you still use the USO if you're a veteran?
Yep. Some it's a USO. If you go to Syracuse, it's not quite a USO. It's a straight up lounge for it. They say active duty or those on orders, but the lady said if you are a veteran and you have proof, you can use it.
Okay. I've only flown like once since I got out, so I haven't really given a shit to. I don't know. Like I know my son flew home on leave. He actually had to spend the night in the USO in Denver because his flight came. He landed there. He flew in from Germany. Landed there at like 2:30 in the morning, and his flight to Rapid City was at like 6:45 in the morning. So, the Dallas Fort Worth Airport probably has the nicest USO that I know of.
They absolutely do. Yep. I remember theirs. They
Mhm.
absolutely do. Hey, Radar, check this out. So I've got like 5,000 hours of aircrew flight hours. I don't like flying civilian aircraft. I would prefer to drive. Like I'll say this on air, and I don't even like this word, but it's the only thing that applies. I get anxious flying,
I
even after.
do. I do. Like I said, I was a helicopter guy. I was a
Mhm.
helicopter guy. So I mean, like it's a whole different world for me, right? Um, I medium do. You know, the ones that makes me very anxious are the really small ones.
Mm,
The small
yeah.
guys. Those guys really make me anxious because I don't know. Hmm. I'm always curious about their maintenance level. You know what I mean? Because you go out there and there's like drip pans underneath everything. Like for me coming from helicopters, like 46s, dude, they leak everything everywhere all the time. The only time, if you go up to a 46, if you go up to any Marine Corps helicopter, I don't know about the Osprey. I was never on Osprey. But if you go up to a Marine Corps helicopter, if it ain't dripping, it's empty. That's the fucking
Mhm.
rule. Whether it was a Huey, or it was a 53, or it was a 46 or Cobra. If you went up to that bitch, if it was not leaking, it was empty. That was the rule. So, like I said, I don't know about the Osprey, but everything else, yep. 46 has made me anxious, and I flew on them fucking things for 4 years. They made me anxious as fuck. So, yeah. But, I mean, like, I don't know, dude. Like, little fucking planes? Yeah. The big ones, not so much, dude. I don't even feel like I flew, it was a 767 to Hawaii, from Denver to Hawaii, straight shot. Didn't That thing was smooth as glass, man. There was no turbulence, there was no nothing. It was just like we were fucking, dude, it's like I was sitting in the airport. So,
For
uh,
me, it's not having on the uh what was the brand? DC's, Davis and Clark's,
mhm.
the headsets, and not being able to hear and like know what's going on.
Yeah.
The fact that I don't know what's going on, it bothers me to the point that if I don't have to fly, I won't. I'll drive.
I'll,
I will fucking drive.
I'm in the same boat if I can. And mine's also from being in the Midwest. Like, we were just talking about this last night. Because, like, my kid got invited to play in this tournament in Denver. And Denver's about a 6-hour drive away. And I was like, fuck, that's a long drive. And I think about it, like, we drive 6 hours. We can leave the fuck go the other direction 6 hours and still be in the same fucking state. You know what I mean? Like, so why am I anxious about driving 6 hours to go to Denver? So, okay. So Phil, the ribbons on the right side of the chest. Okay, so she's in dress blue alphas. So you wear your medals on your left side of the chest, and those are ribbons that don't have medals associated with them. So
Okay.
something like a Sea Service Deployment ribbon doesn't have a medal that attaches to it, right? Or if you do get a meritorious unit citation, or because my unit, I was with my MEU got a meritorious unit citation, so I didn't like I just wore that. The Marine Corps is different. So in the Army, if your unit has ever been awarded a unit citation, you wear it, right? In the Marine Corps,
Mhm.
you only wear one if you were in that unit when it got awarded to it.
Okay.
So that's a difference. So that little bar of medals she has on the right side, or ribbons, those would be, like I said, the Sea Service Deployment or anything else. And the medal side is where, National Defense Service Medal would be on that side, or Army Achievement Medal, or a Purple Heart, or some shit. So that's why it's different. Bangor, Maine had a nice USO apparently.
Up in Maine? Okay.
We landed there on the way back from Iraq, and we weren't allowed in the terminal because we had weapons on us, so they wouldn't let us in the terminal.
Yeah.
Heath said the C-141. He loved that one.
Man, if a C-141 actually got off in the air, then that was a freaking miracle in itself. The C-17s had a really good rate, but C-141s, like anytime we had a mission to refuel C-141s, it was a coin toss on if it would actually happen.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We flew C-141s from Okinawa back to the States. We landed in Hawaii. We landed in Hawaii, and they broke down. So
Of course.
that's what I was wondering. Did they break down or did they break down? But looking at the state of that motherfucker, it probably actually broke down. It probably actually broke down. Ken LeBlanc, where's this show coming from? My basement. I am broadcasting live from my basement. So there's that. This show, I'm in South Dakota. That's where I'm at. But different. We all broadcast from our homes or offices or whatever. So,
hey, Radar, how does one end up in South Dakota? Like, I don't think you would just go, you know what? South Dakota. That's why I want to call home. The fuck? How'd you end up there, man?
So, it's just my mom's family is actually from out here.
Okay.
They settled here in 1890, and we used to come out here on vacation in the summertime, and I just loved it and stuck around. When I got in the Marine Corps, I came back here, and then basically been here ever since. So,
Oh shit.
Yep.
All right.
The C5 seats were upstairs when you sat backwards. Huh. I've never been in a C. Well, I've been in a C5, but I've never flown in one. I saw them at like an air show or something. We flew on C-17s. I flew on C-141s. That was the cool thing about being in the Marine Corps too. Sometimes we get Navy flights, and they actually have 737s. They have like air pallets with seats attached to, like a C-17, and they had put them in a 737. So that was cool. They actually had stewardesses on those bitches. Those are awesome. They actually had stewardesses, and like it was like a real flight. I think it was cool.
Nice.
We flew in, but the Marines fly on C-130s a lot too. So there's that. And that's their tankers is KC-130s.
Yep.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, so you're sitting in a KC-130 with a fuel tank right in your face, and you're sitting on a cargo net. That was fucking stupid.
You know what, man? It'd been a cool thing or whatnot if I'd ever given gas to any of the C-17s that you've flown on or anything kind of going back and forth, man. Like I sometimes think about that stuff. Like, I wonder if I gave that person gas as they were either going or coming from downrange.
I think what would have been really cool is like, so I know, because there's Air Force Base here, right? And there's a B-1 bomber base here. And those guys would fly out of here, fly to Afghanistan or Iraq or whatever, drop bombs, and then fly the fuck back.
And come back and land. Yeah, we were the either the KC-135s out of Maine, sometimes the KC-135 crew out of Georgia, back when they had tankers. They were the ones who helped support that. Insane to me the way that those bomber crews would actually go and do their missions. Insane.
You know what was funny to me though is the dudes here would be like, yeah, we're deployed. We're on deployment. I'm like, no, you're not, motherfucker. If you were going back to your house every night, you were not on deployment. Don't fuck pull that shit with me.
Or the guys out of Barksdale. Yep.
All right. Ken has a question. What are our thoughts on making all installations rely on soldier support only, no contractors? Okay, so I think as recruitment has become more difficult, I think things like the gate guards, the cooks, stuff like that would probably be best served with contractors. Because if you have a shortage of military policemen, why would you want to have them standing the gate when you can have some retired dude stand there and check IDs. That's kind of my thought process on it. Now, if we as a society have a problem hiring people and the military becomes a more interesting option to kids, I think right now we're at a spot where the military is reorganizing and we're going to have a problem with recruitment for the next several years. And I say this because we complain about numbers, but I look at like my son in particular, and because I've been watching re-enlistment bonuses and stuff, and the bonuses aren't there. If you want somebody to re-enlist, best way to do it, give them a fucking bonus, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they obviously don't want people to stay in. They can't get people out of high school. They're having a numbers problem getting recruits out of high school. Now, if the economy goes to shit, you're going to get a lot more people wanting to join the military, and then maybe you can do that. Because I think, honestly, those contractors get paid more money than a fucking specialist does to stand there at the fucking gate and scan IDs. That's just my thought process. It's a good way to save money, and you give them, you're filling your recruitment numbers. But I think that there are, right now in the environment we're in, it's probably a really good idea to free up those spots to get people to do that. I don't know. What do you think?
To be honest with you, Radar, I have the same opinion, or I arrived to that same opinion based on the way that you just arrived to it. So I don't have anything different or anything to add to it.
Okay. Eric Walter says his big mistake was going from active duty to the National Guard.
Why is that?
Yeah. Why is that? A couple of things that come to mind when I think National Guard is you've got those dudes who've been in for like 40 years and they're still like a specialist. Because the promotion system in the Guard is fucking crazy. Right?
Yeah, it's different.
Mandatory service requirements to fill recruitment. No. And I'll say why. Because I, as an NCO, I would rather have 10 people who want to be there than 100 who don't. People who don't want to be there are one of the biggest detriments to your unit morale and your unit cohesion ever. And they're toxic, and that toxicity spreads. So if you were to take and fill your ranks with conscripts, you have problems training them, you have problems with motivation levels, you have problems with all of the things. And I don't think our recruitment numbers are far enough off to justify it. Like I said, if you really had a problem with our numbers, I would say the first thing you do is you offer pretty large incentives monetarily to keep people in. That's one of your best. You've already got people who are trained. You've already got people who have the experience and know what they're doing. You're better off paying them a 20 grand re-enlistment bonus than trying to bring in a new 18, 19, 20-year-old kid and get them up. That's my opinion on that. Secondly, like I said, if we're not at war, we don't, honestly, right now, if we were to fall down, if our numbers were to fall to 90% or 75% even, we can still fill our mission requirements. So it'd be tougher. Our off tempo will be more, and we are slightly more vulnerable to outside attack. But really, our two main competitors, one of whom is embroiled, they went from the second best army in the world to the second best army in Ukraine. We don't really got to worry about Russia anytime soon, unless they decide to throw nukes at us. Then there's not much fucking 18-year-old privates are going to do anyway, honestly. And then secondly, China is kind of doing a whole lot, but they don't even really have a blue water navy. So if something were to happen, we have enough time to set up a conscript. So that's my take on it. But you have anything, King Smith?
You know, I'm just glad I'm not the person that has to figure that out, right? Because look, at a time of war when you have the barbarian at the gate, right? You need a strong defense, a strong fighting force, a strong navy presence, a strong air power to be able to keep that barbarian away. Now I kind of with the way things are, like I still have peers who are still in their if I was still in, my 20-year mark would have been last year.
Yep.
And so I still kind of hear how the ops tempos changed a bit now that things have, I'm just gonna do air quotes, slowed down. um Yet what's the motivation for people like 9/11? For 10 years that was a, I don't know a different way to say this, a great motivator to get people to serve their country.
Mhm.
Uh, Past that, like, how do you do that? People are making money selling feet pics online, or becoming some type of social media star. That the thought of going to basic training, getting yelled at for several weeks, going inside of a gas chamber, who's going to want to do that?
Right. Well, and this
Like,
is where I think that like something like the National Guard is actually a really good thing. Okay, because if you go in the Guard, right, you just go to basic training in AIT and you get an MOS and you know how to do all the shit, right? In 2 weeks of summer, you go do it. But you can pull that like, well, you're home, you're here, you're not going to fucking GRTC, you're not going to fucking NTC, you're not doing all the fucking bullshit. You're here. You're in fucking in your hometown or just down the street. And if there's a problem, a tornado, a flood, a fucking whatever, you're there to help your neighbors, right? You can pull that kind of community aspect into it. And then if there is something where there is a big war, you've got soldiers like that, which is, it's really a good, someone said the National Guard state budget is tough compared to active duty. I believe that, but I think that depends on the state. I know for us, for like this area where I'm at right now, I'm in the Black Hills of South Dakota, okay? Mountains, everything around me's prairie. So they put a heavy horizontal engineering unit here, okay? You're talking about equipment operators. That's what they are here. And they drive bulldozers and stuff. And they are here to fight forest fires. That's their job. So they train to fight forest fires. That's their like state mission, right? Mm-hmm. So if there's a forest fire, you've already got the assets here to fight that fire. And then if there is a war, when Iraq kicked off in 2003, they went there and they were building berms and they were filling sandbags and doing all the shit they do here. But they were doing that in Iraq. And then that opens up your combat engineers to go find mines and go build bridges and go do the stuff that those guys don't have to do, where you have the Guard guys in the back fucking filling HESCO barriers. It's a really good economic model, and it really does that force projection. It allows you to take your active duty professional soldiers and use them as professional soldiers, and the stuff that we're talking about earlier, the contractor stuff, you have the National Guard doing. So I think that works out really well. Thirst traps on active duty for making TikTok videos and whatnot. Man, I don't know.
I'm glad I'm not an NCOIC or an officer in charge that has to enforce whatever the current standards are, when you have things that are amplified now with social media than they were like 10 years ago.
Because I see some, because I'm on TikTok, and you see some of those people on TikTok. I wonder how much they're actually helping the military. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying all of them. I think some of those people on TikTok are fucking ridiculous and stupid. But then you have some of those guys that are, okay, the National Guard here. Go back to National Guard in South Dakota. I was at a job fair, and then the National Guard here has I think it's the PAO office, but they have a couple guys that are on TikTok, and they were running around there like filming TikToks at this job fair. They're using it kind of as a recruiting tool, and they're funny, and they joke around. They're like playing basketball off an 88 or some shit. Yeah, good for them, you know. But and you have some of those content creators whom are kind of educating the public a little bit, right? A couple of those guys. One of the guys' name is like Preston something, and he's talking about like kind of some tactic stuff and whatever, and it kind of helps people understand like what's going on in the world. And I think that's great. But man, some of them guys in their barracks rooms doing some dumb shit.
I've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Meal talk.
Mm-hmm. Some of the meal talk dudes are all right, and some were like, "Way the fuck out there, man! Like, woo wee! I gotta get us in trouble. I gotta get us in trouble." I don't know. There's no statute limitations on them war crimes, dude. Just calm down a minute. You're gonna be in the Hague and shit. Habitual line crosser. Yes, he is awesome. I do like him a lot. I
have to find that person to follow.
He's pretty all right. There's a couple other ones too that the dude, he's a chief. That's funny as fuck. We've had him on the show. He's fucking funny. He's ADA. Yeah. Habitual line crossers. Yeah. And he talks about like the Patriot system and stuff. He doesn't give out any top secret information. He doesn't do anything like that would get anybody in trouble, right? Nothing like that. But he gives out some really good information, and he's like, I think he's an instructor too. He says Mississippi has a huge National Guard budget and presence and one of the largest National Guard bases in the U.S. Yes, they do. It's down by Hattiesburg. Oh, what the fuck's the name of that base? But they do a lot with hurricane relief. So, I mean, it makes sense to have states like Mississippi or Tennessee or Florida or Texas to have big National Guards. One, they have a larger population than fucking Podunk, South Dakota, but you're in a place where you can help. Camp Shelby. That's right. That's what the place is called. It's huge. Camp Shelby's huge. But
do you think that there's anything wrong, like kind of speaking on this subject? Like, for example, there's nobody that's in a flight suit right now that's like a SME on social media that's parlaying that into some type of personal success. The way I think, I'm like, man, if I was still in right now and I look good in a flight suit, my TikTok handle would be Flyboy Smitty, right? And I'm showing, myself refueling different aircrafts, and I'm trying to parlay that into maybe setting myself up like post service. Hopefully I have something that goes viral, right? And I build a brand off of that.
Mhm.
Like, I think that there's opportunities there for people in certain jobs to do that using their time in the military and social media.
Absolutely. And you know what? I wish that I don't. Honestly, I wish that was kind of more of a thing like when I was getting out, but it wasn't. And I honestly, I'm not proficient enough at it to make it worthwhile. And I wonder too, we'll take that habitual line crosser guy. Like I said, he's an instructor at somewhere, air defense artillery guy. I don't know how many followers he has, but he's not making a ton of money. Those guys don't make a ton of money. You have to really get like a lot of followers and a lot. I think YouTube pays more than TikTok does too, from what I understand. So, but like I said, if you build that brand, I'm just not savvy enough to do it. So he's at SIL. Philippines at SIL. Now there's Tristan something. Let me go to you. How would you guys go about changing the public's opinion about the current military? When the Vanessa incident occurred in Hood and the documentary that followed soon after, it really put the military as a whole in a negative light, especially when all the stories came out about toxic leadership, SHARP, and EO incidents. I have had new soldiers tell me that it was really hard for them to convince their families that the whole military isn't like the stories, and for their families to really accept their decision to join. Now, I agree with that. But I also think SHARP and EO incidences have been a problem with the military for as long as I've known. So at least 25 years. And I imagine it's went back way longer than that. I think that sweeping those incidents under the rug and pretending they didn't happen has brought it to a level today where that's no longer acceptable. I think we need to air our dirty laundry so we can make the appropriate changes so that stuff doesn't happen again. Okay? Nobody that puts a uniform on every day should have to worry about getting raped or sexually assaulted or in any way assaulted because of anything about them. We have lost the ability to look at each other in uniform as brothers and sisters in uniform. And it doesn't matter what color you are, what religion you are, if you're transgender or gay or whatever, none of that fucking matters. We all put a uniform on to go do the best job that we can that day. And we have lost sight of that. And we have tried to cover up things for too long and pretend like they're not issues when they really are. Whether it be hazing or whether it be EO and sharp complaints or whether it be racism or fucking any of it. Okay. We need to fix these issues. We can't just put a Band-Aid on and pretend like they don't happen, because they do every fucking day. And it's no longer, oh, we're making fun of somebody. Now people are getting fucking killed, right? Or killing themselves because of the harassment they're getting.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have to, not just even at an NCO level, but as a system, we have to take stock of ourselves and stand up for each other and fix the problems that we have. So I think that bringing these stories to light and shining a light on them and showing the toxic leadership and fixing it, actually fixing it, is what's going to fix the public's opinion about the military. Because we all know it happens, right? It's not a fucking surprise that it happens. We need to fix it. And I think that's how you're going to fix our perception, how we're viewed in the civilian world.
Yep.
Every garrison commander only cares about the 1-star. I believe it. No one gives a shit. And here's the thing. Installation commander sweeping under the rug. That's absolutely right. But you know where it fucking starts? Is at the NCO level. It starts at the fucking NCO level. It starts with fucking sergeants saying this shit is not okay. And fucking specialists standing up for each other. What do you think made us stop looking at each other as brothers and sisters? I don't know, dude. I don't know where that changed. I don't know where it changed. I think what has changed in a way is trying to make rank instead of taking care of.
That was my first thought.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
that was my first thought.
Making rank or get medals. David says he let new recruits know that there are bad apples everywhere. I most often let new recruits know that they need to find an MOS that they can relate to the civilian world, because most service members will not spend 20 years in the military. Absolutely. Absolutely. That was my dad's requirement when I first went in. That's why I went into aviation. Was my dad's requirement was you had to get a job that you could use. Absolutely. But back to the other part of that, yeah, there's bad apples. We need to pick them out. You can throw them out. Fuck it's installation commander. Should never get to the 1-star. It should never get to the 1-star. It should be on us. As enlisted, we should be able to police ourselves, take care of each other, and know that's where airing our dirty laundry is going to fix this, by saying that type of behavior is not okay. If you allow that behavior to happen over and over and over again, whether you've got some dude who's a fucking racist or a sexist or makes fun of the dude for being gay or whatever thing he's doing wrong, whatever he's doing is single that person out instead of seeing that soldier as a soldier and starting to see that person as whatever makes them different. You have to change that person. You have to change that environment. You have to make that type of behavior no longer okay. And when someone starts being a fuck, you call them out for it. That's what's going to fix it. And it has to happen in the fucking barracks. It's not going to happen in the CG's office. It should have got fixed 10 levels before that.
Yep. You knew where you walked into, whether it was in the barracks, your unit at the squadron level, wherever, like how the culture was.
Mm-hmm.
And certain places, like you didn't hear a lot of things like that on Air Force bases. It occurred, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when I was active, I would see stuff in the news. It would be like Bragg, Fort Hood, like that was the stuff that I always saw news like that happen constantly. And we talk about it like, man, what's the culture like there that this type of stuff is happening, and where's the accountability for people doing things? Like we had a commander get a DUI. He got demoted immediately. didn't even hesitate, right?
Mhm.
And what that does is, it set the culture of, all right, like we're going to hold our people accountable for the things that they do. You can't get a DUI and still have command of a unit.
Mhm.
So then when the NCO or the airman also gets a DUI, the punishment's the same.
Yep.
I saw another unit in a different service where an officer got a DUI, shit got swept under the rug,
Mhm.
right? And then everybody else that knew about it was like, well, why the fuck should I have to, do the standard, or whatnot when, hey, there's no accountability. Major so and so didn't have accountability. So why should I?
Yep.
I think you have to hold people accountable at every level on everything so that people understand when you do shit, you're going to be held accountable for it.
Absolutely. And that accountability, I think we need to be a little bit tougher on ourselves. And this is a Marine Corps mentality, but it was instilled in us that if you are going to put that uniform on, it's a reflection not only of you, but of the country you serve. And the Marine Corps, we don't wear unit patches, right? We don't wear, if you're in the Second Marine Division, you don't wear a Second Marine Division patch. You wear no patch, nothing, right? You're just a Marine. And everywhere you go, that's a Marine Corps uniform. Their camouflage uniform is different, and their service uniforms are completely different. So if you were in a Marine Corps uniform, they know that you're a Marine. And if you're fucking off, it's a reflection on you, the Marine Corps, and the United States as a whole. And to make sure when you put that uniform on to take care of your shit, because you are representative of the country you serve. And I think that was definitely instilled in me, right? But it's true to an extent. But in that same who's that? Phil said, and it's a good old boy system. The Army don't hold their leaders as the Marine Corps, Navy, and Air Force. I don't agree with that. I think there is some good old boy system there, but there's a good old boy system in the Marine Corps. I promise. I saw it. Navy too. I don't know about the Air Force. I didn't hang out with the Air Force much. Is there a good old boy system in the Air Force?
I would say yes.
Mm-hmm. But like you said, it's kind of unit level. If the unit takes care of their shit, like you said, if you're a fucking colonel or if you're a sergeant and you get a fucking DUI, same punishment. Bye, see ya. Or if you get pop out on a piss test, or if you commit adultery, whatever it is, you can get demoted if you commit adultery. Period. That's it. It's in the rules. Look it up. Like there are certain. It's a code of conduct that you have to be held to a standard. And it doesn't matter if you are a colonel or a sergeant or a private. That's just the way it works. You are representative at that point. And I don't. We have to hold we have to hold ourselves accountable to that. We have to hold each other accountable. It's one big family. We're a family. If my brother's fucking up, if my brother's cheating on his wife, I'm gonna fucking smack him upside the head, be like, "Hey, dude, don't fucking cheat on your wife."
And if you choose to look the other way, then to me, yes. When you choose to look the other way and then something happens, I think that that domino occurs because you chose to look the other way. You
Yep.
chose not to say anything.
Yep.
So,
And
absolutely.
if you choose not to say something about one thing, then other people are going to continue to do that shit because they know that you're not going to say shit.
Yep.
They know that you're not going to stand up for what's right. Whether you're a PFC or a fucking sergeant or a first sergeant. You got to do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
The Marine Corps will drop you like hot trash. And it's like it depends, dude. It depends. You know what? Honestly, I think that it's my experience in the Marine Corps. Okay, with the units that I was around in the Marine Corps, that the Air Wing was probably more disciplined than the grunts were. The grunts were very much good old boy system. The grunts very much, I'll take care of it. We got our boys. I'll take care of my boys. Really? Because your boy's a fuck and you ain't taking care of them. So that's what I saw. And I know in the units that I was in the Air Wing that we were a little bit more strict on discipline. Our uniforms might not have been as good looking, but we took care of each other and our shit. Quinn says small, tight knit units usually seem to have fewer disciplinary issues. Active Army was completely different from the Reserve Civil Affairs Battalion I retired from. I agree with that.
Yeah, same. I mean, most Air Force aviation units were smaller units.
Mm-hmm.
So you knew everybody, your chiefs knew folks by name, their, significant others and things like that, kids' names. So I would definitely agree with that, because going back to where I talked about Fort Hood and Bragg, it always seemed like it was those larger units that had issues. And I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you've ever gotten to a position of leadership at a large level, I can't begin to imagine trying to understand and keep up with all of the different moving pieces for the people that's under you. I was an NCOIC, but the most amount of people who I had in charge of was 8.
Yep.
8. That's it.
But it allowed you to kind of keep charge of them. But with the smallness of it, like you said, you get that intimacy. And
Mhm.
if someone's a fuck, like, okay, I know, like me in my situation, if someone's a fuck, you can't necessarily kick them the fuck out, right? If someone worked under you and they fucking were abusive to their kids, you can't kick them out of the fucking Air Force because they're abusive to their kids. But you can sure make their life suck for it. You know what I mean? You can sure try to keep them in line and be like, dude, you cannot do that. Do not do that in front of me because I think that's inappropriate behavior. You can kind of do that a little bit, but okay, like obviously they can't fucking show up to work drunk. They can't do drugs. But if you have a situation like that where someone's abusive to their kids or their wife or do some dumb shit, that's where you, and as a good person, not just as an NCO, but as a good person, like, man, you got to fucking lay off that shit. And I think that if we talk about, we'll go back to sexual assault. You know, if somebody is, man, I'm fucking dude. I think we've all been there. We've all seen dudes like that. We've all seen dudes who have a little bit more aggressive attitude towards females. Keep them in check. Put them in check a little bit. Hey, man, that ain't cool. That's not how we do things around here. That's all I got to say. You just got to give that little nudge to somebody that behavior is not okay. And that little nudge, that little saying some shit, you know. Also, if you see that happening in person, if someone's being aggressive, if one of your soldiers is being aggressive to another one, as an NCO, it's your job, it's your duty to put a stop to that.
I had to do it once. Yeah, dude was drunk. He was very out of line, and I had to physically grab him and take him away from the situation because it would have escalated to something absolutely bad. But you have to have the the ability, I'm not gonna say the balls, but the gumption to like do that,
Right.
and not worry about how it's gonna look or how they might come at you for grabbing them. But you know, I was jacked, back then,
Mm-hmm.
not quite the same now. So I was grabbed him and walked him that way.
Right. And here's the thing, too. You don't got to have the rank to do it. You got to have the balls to do it. You got to have the guts to
Yep.
do it. And that's where this whole thing kind of flips back to. You know, you don't got to have you don't got to be a general to save the world. You don't. You just got to have the balls to do it. And in doing that, I bet not only did you put that guy in his place, but you made the other part of that equation feel safe and feel like they were part of something, part of a unit. That girl was your sister at that moment. That's how we make that connection. That's how we take care of each other. That's how we help each other. By those actions, by stepping in when something's not right, by taking care of each other. You know, when you get down range, you got the only person you can rely on is people that fucking soldier, sailor, airman, marine to your left or right. That's all you can depend on. So if they can't depend on you to stop it when they're getting raped, how the fuck are they going to depend on you when this comes time when bullets start flying?
Yep.
You know, but take care of each other, help each other
And
out.
look, if you see certain things like so that same guy in that story, maybe about a year or two later, he ended up getting kicked out for inappropriate conduct.
There's a lot of that. I wish.
Yep.
I don't know. That's slippery slope too. Because I wish that happened more, but I do. There is a pendulum swing to that. That
Uh,
I don't want to see some kid who's like 22 years old, 21 years old, gets drunk, makes a stupid mistake, and all of a sudden his fucking career is over because he made a stupid mistake. I understand that. There has to be like a little bit of, you know, hey, I was drunk, I made a mistake, I'm sorry, but fix the fucking behavior.
Yeah.
That's the difference, right? Fix the fucking behavior and keep track of that shit. And if it's a pattern, bye, see you. You're a fuck. But we shouldn't just kick somebody out or fucking throw someone 11 worth the first time they fuck up. I get that. There is a balancing act there, but at no point should anybody, male, female, indifferent, be made to feel unsafe. Period. So aviation units are safety driven. Ooh, I like this con. And our lives depend on each other more since most of us worked on the aircraft. We were a close group. We lost aircraft in Okinawa that killed 17 of our Marines, and it grew us up quick. I believe that, 100%. 100%. If you fall down on a hump, scrape a knee, fucking transmission locks up, you're hitting the dirt. That's gonna suck. So yeah, absolutely. I never thought about it that way. I never thought that, like, I mean, obviously when you're, I'm sure you probably had the same thing when you're doing your pre-flights, you're doing whatever, that safety thing. But also it just becomes routine. I never, I guess now I actually think about it, every time I go up to a pre-flight inspection, I never thought that this is keep me safe. I just thought, well, I'm making sure my fucking plane don't crash. It doesn't click the same, I guess.
Yeah,
That makes any sense.
Yep, you got that checklist. You follow that checklist. May 5th, 2013, man, I was doing a new job here in Maryland, and a homeboy of mine and two pilots, the aircraft that they were flying on for a mission downrange, shortly after takeoff, blew up. Um, I looked through my flying records and saw that I had flew on that aircraft several times, right? And it's one of those things that to that comment, whoever had wrote that, you got the crew that's flying it, you've also got the maintainers. When that aircraft blew up, it affected not just the aviation community, but maintenance and ops really in general,
Mhm.
because there's a lot of people that come together to make aviation happen, man.
Yep.
And that has a lasting effect to this day.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, absolutely. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But you know what sucks though is when it takes an accident to really solidify that. And that, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's tough, man. It's tough.
hmm
And we got real heavy towards the last like 45 minutes of this.
God
Show.
dang, man, bring it back
Yeah,
up.
we gotta bring it back up. I don't even have anything good to end on. But
Strip clubs,
strip clubs.
bitties.
Big titty. Big titties. They're talking about sexual assault. Let's talk about titty bars. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, but I mean, I you know what? I'll end on this though. Like, we're talking about all this shit, like taking care of each other, right? And that shit extends to the civilian world too. If you're out somewhere and you see somebody being a fuck, call them off being a fuck.
hmm
And that's the thing. Like I said, I guess that we took an oath to protect people. You at whatever level you think that is, like our job was to protect people, whether it be in a combat situation or giving people gas, or fucking whatever. Protect each other and protect the people who cannot protect themselves.
Yep.
So, but anyway, so it is it's 7:52 my time. So it's 9:52 yours, huh?
Yep.
About time to wrap this B up. So, do you have the list of the? I forgot to tell you. Like I usually have my co-host do the guest list.
Yeah. Hold up. I do. I wasn't ready, but I
Ooh.
do.
Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to give a quick
I
shout
do.
out. Quinn says something different. 5 Branches Brewing in Tarpon Springs, Florida, is veteran owned and has good beer. So if you're in the Tarpon Springs, Florida area, go check them out. Something different. 5 Branches Brewing. Oh, it's time for King to promote us.
Oh, snap. Who am I promoting?
Your show. It says a sports bar.
Oh, to promote us.
Yeah.
Man. So I had I think I took it down because Coach typically did it for us. So
See, yeah, I usually have TZ do this. I was like, man, I didn't think about it till like, when Coach was on with me, I like messaged him the day before, like, man, I usually have her do the stuff, and I didn't even check my email or nothing. I don't even know.
I can wing it. Hold on.
Hold on, there was something that at. Is that Hobbs?
I had a show notes thing that had everybody's show and who did what, and I deleted.
Oh, there's an upcoming Memorial Day concert in DC. We need to promote. I forgot. I'm so dumb. I really should probably be better at my job.
Radar, please let King know I am not getting the Sunday notifications of the sports bar anymore.
Huh.
That's interesting.
On from Facebook?
From Facebook or YouTube? Because I've been streaming there, and I actually do it a little bit different. I don't know if you do this, but like I have it preset to where like maybe about an hour and a half prior, it's a scheduled stream, so you can see that I will be going live about 2 hours that day. He said yes on Facebook. Okay. Thanks for the feedback.
That's and do you get the notifications for our show? I guess that you do because you pop up right as soon as we come live. That's interesting.
Yeah, I don't have the show information stuff here.
That's fine. What is the Memorial Day concert series? Is that what CQ is talking about?
I have no idea. Nay, a clue.
Wow, that's interesting. That's like 4 days worth of music. I don't know if that's what he's talking about. I should have looked. Anyway, so there is the CQ wanted me, and I'm gonna read it verbatim.
Sweet.
You might hurt Radar's fragile noggin with all them tech words. Probably. I'm bad at this. I am bad at my job. Yeah. So make sure we promote the upcoming Memorial Day concert in DC. So if you're in the DC area, there's a Memorial Day concert coming up.
Bam.
I wish I knew more information on it. Email me or send me a Facebook message and I'll see if I can get more information on it. Sorry, I'm dumb. I'm bad. I had to update everything and I'm just like, I messed up. I had to restart the show. It's been a bad day. See, feels right. I'm not good at this. But anyway, so tonight you've been listening to me be bad at hosting the Smoke Pit with actual King Smith as my super guest co-host. And then tomorrow is Thursday, Swords time. Be Ice, talking about all things Big Army, National Guard, Reserve, retiree, all things military, Army stuff that we talk about, bring it to you live tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel. Friday is the aptly named Friday Night Freedom because it happens on Fridays, and they're all about freedom. It's Kaz and Pookie. Great show. Be there. The great start to the weekend. Now, Saturday is a Dawn's a day of no scheduled activities. We're all off, hanging out with our families. I'm going to be graduating a kid from high school. That's what we do on Saturdays. Now, Sunday, the actual King Smith and Coach will be bringing you the sports bar. Talking about what you guys got in store? Probably some NBA playoffs.
NBA playoff news, UFC fighters whose girlfriends want to get half of their stuff, all kinds of stuff, man. Just tune in for all the sports edutainment.
Mm-hmm. Edutainment. Ooh, I like that. I like that. That's a good word. And then Monday, the Monday edition. Again, great name because it's an edition that happens every Monday with Shipwreck and Ice. We're bringing you all kinds of current events news, some fun new stuff, all kinds of cool shit. Now, Tuesday, a little special day in my heart for Pop Culture Warrior with CQ and one of his harem of co-hosts, whoever he brings on. Apparently, it's fuck Julius Randle. Punch Julius Randle in the area where his balls are supposed to be.
You had to watch our sports bar show yesterday to see Coach. Coach did a rant that would make a radar rant quiver.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, it was that good. I am in the process of clipping it and just clipping that part and putting it on the channel. It was fantastic.
Nice. So fuck Julius Randle. But anyway, Tuesday night with the harem of co-hosts is CQ and Pop Culture Warrior. I don't know if he's got a guest or not. I'm bad at this, dude. I'm sorry. We didn't look anything up. I don't even have a script, dude. I didn't know what we're talking about tonight. Anyway, and then next week, I don't know if TZ will be back or not. It depends on how she's feeling. Somebody asked earlier. Yep, she did yeet her uterus, and it is gone. She is feeling better. She's recovering. I don't think she's 100% quite yet, but it is kind of an invasive surgery. But she's going to Red Hot Chili Peppers tonight, so must be doing okay. But she should be here hopefully next week. If not, I'll have another special co-host on. We'll find out. But that will be our show a week from tonight, right back here with the Smoke Pit, with me and maybe TZ, maybe the actual King Smith, maybe Coach, maybe Ice. Who knows? We'll figure it out. But we'll be here. So I really do appreciate everyone for coming on. Hey, King, thanks so much, man, for coming on and jumping in with me tonight. I appreciate it.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me. This time flew by. I looked down and saw what time it was. It was like, sheesh, that was quick, man. I enjoyed myself.
It was a good time, though. And like I said, I really do appreciate you coming on, and you're welcome on anytime, man. It's been great. So
awesome.
Do you have any words of wisdom for everybody before we go?
King Smith's words of wisdom. Thou shalt not drink coffee at 10 p.m. at night. I don't know. That's all I got, man. Hey,
that's good.
Y'all stay frosty out there. Stay safe. And let's get through this May on a high note for everybody out there. That's all I got.
All right. I can't put it any better. So thanks for coming out tonight. Shots, everybody.
Peace.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots.
Love on me like water. Got an ocean full of love that's made for two. We can sail up on the ocean breeze and sunshine feels like you loving me. We got a good thing going on, you know that's true. I'm feeling fine, fine, fine. Pour your love on me like wine. Come on, mama, fill me up. Let me take a sip from your loving cup. Feeling fine, 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 fine. Pour your love on me like wine. Well, I like waking up lying next to you when the sun's so hot and the sky's so blue. There ain't a single thing I'd rather do than spend all my time making love to you. Ain't got a friend, just a way to live in a big bag of love that we love to give out to the world through song and show. If you're getting all of us, let's go, go, go. I'm feeling fine. Let me take a sip from your loving cup. Feeling fine, 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 fine. Pour your love on me like wine. Feeling fine, 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 fine. Pour your love on me like wine. Feeling fine, 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 fine. Pour your love on me like wine. Feeling fine, fine, fine. Hey, Sioux Falls, thank you so much.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation Radio.